Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. Hope you are doing well. So our last series was about AWS Solution Architect Associate. So we'll start new series on DevOps, DevOps tools, DevOps technologies. So it include multiple videos on this series. So we'll start with the DevOps roadmaps and responsibilities and some introduction part of the uh, DevOps tools, DevOps technologies. So let's start with DevOps. So what are the agenda of this video? What is DevOps? Why we require DevOps? Deployment and delivery challenges, Agile and DevOps, roles and responsibility of DevOps and tools techniques used in DevOps. Now we'll start with what is DevOps. So basically, we cannot say DevOps is a simple kind of a job. It is basically a set of practice and tools or a culture, and we can say culture philosophy that automate the integration process between software development and the IT teams. Usually, what happened before DevOps, whenever a developer develop a code in his local system, then he said this code is working fine in my local machine. When it surrounding and uploaded it to the live server, or we can say the web server or any application platform, it won't work as expectations because the uh, environment or the setup of local infrastructure of developers machine is different from the server. So there is a gap between a developer and the system of IT team, system administrator team. System administrator team says that no, there is no issue with my server. Developer says the code is working fine in my local machine. So there is always being crash and being the gap between both of them. So then this DevOps, the technique and we can say the tool and the practice being introduced to fill that particular gap. So between cross team it actually introduced to reduce this cross team communications. The persons who being a part of the development and the operations team, and create a collaborations between the both the team, and it make it as an automated way, not the traditional the manual methodology. So yes, this is the DevOps. Here you can see the general symbol of DevOps. Here you can see some of the code. The cycle start from this code. Once the code being set up by developer, it trying to create a build, and it test using some of the tool called Selenium, the other Maven or any other testing tools. Then once the testing pass, then it released to the DevOps team, or we can say the IT infrastructure operation team. Then they deploy and they try to validate whether it's working or not, and continuously monitoring being apply on the deployed system. If something went wrong, then it again release back to plan and code. So this continuously process being running, and this process called DevOps process. So here one more thing, whenever the small changes occur, or that developer just release this small bunch of release patches, build, test and release. So ultimately the classic way of development method, we will develop all the scenarios and then test it one by one. That particular scenario is being removed. So this is the symbol of DevOps, and it include many different tools for each and every stages of the DevOps. Why we required DevOps? As I mentioned earlier, DevOps is important to fill the gap between development and operation team. DevOps play an important role to make process faster and easy. Here, the scenario is something like developer says the code is working fine in my system, and operation team say my code is work on my system too. Then this include called DevOps model. Both the developer and operation team work together. So whenever the developer change anything, will validate with the operation, and then this code is working fine. If somehow we remove this strategy or the methodology, then there is a clash and there is a gap between both the teams. Deployment and delivery challenges. Why? If we compare the challenges in between developer and the developer, what are the challenges comes to developer? So developer system may not same as production system because the when we set up some framework tool like software development in SDKs like Visual Studio or VS Code or anyway on Java, we can say any tool for Java. So required component for those framework been already installed with this pre setup with that particular program. For example, with VS Code, we have some additional extensions been available. With Visual Studio, we'll have some additional layer of like processes and the configuration already being included with that particular software. So system is being fully patched and fully set up with the all the components. Not much concern about infrastructure usage as development impact because of the code. Probably developer need to be complete this his task in between time. So he's not focusing on much on the code compatibility and the we can say valid functionality on the code. He's trying to complete his task and he's not thinking about whether the my wrong impacted code will affect the infrastructure usage and other stuff. So he or she need to be complete the task being within time. Testing perform only on local systems. He's trying to validate those test cases on local systems only, so that those were not been replicated on the live server, because in live server we have actual traffic plus we have actual scenarios being integration with the third party tools and other stuff. So these are the developer point of view. Now operations team also having some views. Depend on the developer testing results before release. Concern about the infrastructure usage and application uptime after new deployment because of the code. Less time validation for the release changes as it is continuously processed. Operations team also having some reviews. First, he don't know what this new release being impacted. Sometime the application went working well, but after applying some new patches, the system not working well. So always operations team is trying to find what are the last changes. We can just roll back those changes and validate. So yes, these are the tools views of operation team on the delivery changes challenges. Agile and DevOps methodology. Agile is again a practice. It addresses the gap between customer requirement and developer plus testing team. Cross-functional team to design a develop and test feature prioritized by the customer. What are the requirement gathering generated by the customer? It actually understand proper way and just provide those replicated way to developer plus tester. Then DevOps is again as we already discussed, address a gap between developer plus tester and the operation. Automated release management and incentivize the reusability and automation. So you can see the full graph for the Agile and DevOps. Here you can see the customer required product and enhancement with agility and stability requirement. and they provide to developer team. They plan, develop, test, and constant feedback from the operations team, like business, development, and operations. Agile fix this gap, and DevOps fix this gap. Change stability. So here you can consider Agile and DevOps as a coexistence on this scenario. Agile plus DevOps: design, build, test, prioritize. This is the Agile uh, cycle, and DevOps: deploy and test, and continuous feedback between both the scenarios. Roles and responsibilities: these are the roles and responsibility of DevOps: application infrastructure planning, testing, and development. As a DevOps guy, he is responsible for planning, infrastructure setup, and testing and development. Maintaining CI/CD pipeline, continuous integration, continuously delivery, and continuously deployment. So these are the pipeline which as a DevOps guy need to be maintained. Automation: now the scenario should be automated. It should be not manual way. Whenever the changes occur, it should be automatically, or with approve, it should be deployed. On-call incident report and incident management. As a DevOps guy, need to be available 24/7 on call, and the first the priority was to fix the issue. Then he need to be prepared with the incident report and incident management itself. System analysis: the current system use, developing plan for enhancement and improvement. You need to be continuously being monitor the infrastructure to validate the development plans, and need to be submitted if there is a scope for the improvement. Cloud deployment and management: he or she is responsible for deployment on cloud and monitoring, as a monitoring is integral and very crucial component of the DevOps. There are numerous tools available in the market for monitoring, so you need to choose your better and right tool for the monitoring. So these are the roles and responsibility of the DevOps. Now we can consider these are the tools for each uh, section of the DevOps. If we talk about the code, Git, Jira, Confluence; build having the SBT, Maven; test having Selenium, JUnit; release Jenkins and CodeShip; deployment DCOS, Docker, AWS; operate Chef, Ansible, and Kubernetes; and monitor Datadog, Splunk, and Nagios. There are many more tools available for these technologies apart from these tools, and you can choose your tools and technology according to your framework and according to your skill and ability. If you are good at some XYZ tool, you choose to work on that particular. But somehow if you don't get those much tool, you need to be flexible to become a expert on the newly introduced tool. You don't become a rigid that I am not going to use this tool, I have experience on that particular tool. So it is not possible. But yes, if you have some valid point in term of difference between the existing tools with the prior tool which you have used, then you can suggest with your management and the operations team that we have used this tool. I know about these tools, and this kind of issues being fixed by applying this tool. So yes, if the management is okay, then you have that capacity or capability to change those tools. Yes, so thank you. This is the basically introduction part. We'll introduce many more tools and technique in terms of DevOps, and this series will be include many more functions and features for those who learn DevOps from very beginning and advanced as well as professional way. Hope you guys like my videos, and kindly subscribe the channel, and click like button as well. Thank you very much.